Success just doesn't happen on its own. It's not something that is gonna come overnight. Now you can have overnight success when you've set the framework for that success to happen. And that's what this episode of Don't Back Up, Don't Back Down is about. This episode is about aiming yourself in the right direction. You'll never hit that target if you don't aim in the right direction. There are tons of great fishermen out there. There's a ton of great anglers that are always on the water in any given day. The thing that sets a lot of people apart and sets some of the elite series apart is that they pointed themselves in the right direction. So if you're trying to get to those upper echelons of bass tournament competition, start now by pointing yourself in the right direction. All right, so before we launch and everything, you got to check your live wells, make sure they're no fish in there, and that they work too a lot of the time. And also your cord as well, make sure that it's there. We're not required to pull them in this event, but some events you are actually required to make sure and display that it actually pulls, like in the BFL. I know my boater had to do that, but I already got some water in the live well simply because, you know, talking with one of my boaters during the BFL, he was like, hey, that's one of the best things you can do because that's some of the coolest water that you're gonna get all day. Also got some ice, got some G juice for these you know, hot summer days that are about to be upon us, you know. But hopefully there's not too much debris floating in the water because we're gonna be hopefully running some main lake. Well, maybe not really main lake stuff, but we'll see. By the time you're seeing this tournament footage, it's already been a couple months. I think this tournament was done back in June or so, so we still had the 15-inch requirement on the tournament, and you know, it was a good event for me. I went to a spot and stayed locked down in that spot because, like I've said in a lot of videos, I was noticing I was moving around too much. So in this tournament, I wanted to say, you know what, I want to see what happens if I just lock down in an area and fish. All right, y'all. First spot was a bust. Kind of worked it over for a little bit and wasn't liking what I was seeing. No activity, dirty water, so, oh, that was horrible. Lovely. So I decided to come over here to the mouth of Aquia. And for me, all of this competition is literally just the start of my journey. This is just me laying the groundwork, starting, taking those initial first steps. This is my rookie season of bass tournaments, of fishing out of a bass boat. You know, I didn't think I was gonna go out there and just blow everything away. I've taken a very structured approach to making myself better at bass tournaments, at bass fishing, and that's what this is. If you don't start on the right path, if you don't put down the groundwork to get to those next levels, you'll never make those next levels. If you don't start practicing what you need to practice to be able to win that tournament that could be 3 years off, that could be 4 years in the making. He's gonna keep. Oh, thought you were spitting stuff up there for a second, bud. Down he will. Okay. So my tournament goals are my own personal goals of just trying to get better, trying to better myself as an angler. And you know, I like being put in that situation to where I'm tested. My theories are tested, my techniques are tested. Everything that I do gets tested. It's not just a let me go out and fish against my buddies in a two-man tournament. I'm not in this for that. I'm in this to compete in the real tournaments that are out there. And I just want to lay the groundwork for that so that I can compete at the higher levels.
Just be big enough, please. Might. Just might.
Staying up. I'm wilding out. I'm leaning in. I'm leaning in. Pushing off my feet to the ground. I do not jump. I move the earth down. Bear witness to the genius of my sound. Born at the bottom, but now I'm knocked down. Look, I'm a solid swagger. I slip through time zones like a looking dagger. Mad movies on my chain. You can see your name up a lip. Blood baby girls in my game because she's sipping on my champagne. That's right.
Going in box.
In my back pocket, and that's right. 1 million in my safe deposit. That's right. I'm drill all day. On my way to a million.
I'll stick it out here for a little bit longer. Been here pretty much all morning. Caught my good fish here. Got basically 2 fish out of here. If I can get one more, actually I might roll out to the front of this cove. Although there are fish here, you just gotta get them to bite. Yes!
So if you want to compete at those higher levels, you need to start now. You need to finalize that in your head. I think that's one of the things that you look across all of the bass tournament pros that are out there. They knew from one point in their lives that they were going to try and make it, and that they were going to do that they were going to get to those upper echelons, and they made the decision, the commitment that it takes to get there, because that's not something that's just going to happen overnight. That's not an overnight success of one day, oh, you're just fishing in a local pond of yours and you're like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be, you know, competing against the elites in the elite tour. It just doesn't happen that way. So if that's where you're trying to go with your fishing career, then you need to start planning now. You need to start laying that groundwork now and making sure that you can compete once you get to that level, because it's not just going to happen overnight, and it's going to take time, and it's going to take money, and it's going to take a lot of both to be able to reach that point in your life to where you can do that, especially if you total up how much it costs to compete in these tournaments. Just in these small ABA Division 11 tournaments that I'm doing, you know, it can be quite expensive at times, between running the boat, getting the ice, getting the fuel. You could be into $200 a tournament almost every tournament when you consider gas just to get down there, gas to run your boat. All of those things add up. So start laying the groundwork now. How are you going to get that time? How are you going to get that money so that you can move to that next level?